2019 Chevrolet Corvette ZR1. We broke a lot of dynamometers testing this engine, explained Jordan Lee, Chevrolet's chief engineer for small block engines, before handlers strapped us into the passenger seat of a 2019 Chevrolet Corvette ZR1 for a few laps of Willow Springs International Raceway. It's understandable, because the engine to which Lee referred is the ultra-vet supercharged LT5 V8, its 755 horsepower cracked exhaust piping with its heat and decimated flex plates at General Motors engine testing facility. It's a common problem among blown V8s making this much power, it seems. Dodge faced similar challenges developing the 840 horsepower supercharged Hemi V8 for its Challenger Demon. GM eventually added water cooling to the dyno's exhaust ducting and beefed up the hardware to handle the LT5's might consistently. After the engine punted us around Willow Springs Big Willow, we wished our own bodies could be so upgraded. This fast, undulating circuit is the perfect playground for highlighting the LT5 and the ZR1's available aerodynamic enhancements, the key upgrades over the 650 horsepower Corvette Z06 that take it to new performance heights. The two ZR1 development coupes that Chevrolet had on hand, the convertible version bowed at the Los Angeles Auto Show earlier in the week, each wore mismatched camouflage and unpainted panels but were nearly final production spec and equipped with the 8-speed automatic transmission and, critically, the ZTK Performance package. This kit adds a towering, adjustable carbon fiber rear wing and extra vertical fins at each end of the front splitter. It's no poseur piece. The wings mounts stab through the Corvette's bodywork and bolt directly to the spaceframe. ZR1s wear their own bodywork forward of the A-pillar with additional openings to feed the 4 additional radiators relative to the Z06, as well as half-inch wider front wheels. Naturally, the LT5 steals the show. An evolution of the LT4 that powers the Z06, the LT5 has a strengthened crankshaft and wears a larger displacement-eaten supercharger that juts 2.9 inches higher than the LT4's flat-topped, low-profile unit. It's literally too tall for the ZR1's hood, which is why that panel features a hole in the middle that the LT5 sticks out of. Chevrolet dresses the supercharger in a pretty carbon fiber cover for added effect. The supercharger pulley is larger than the LT4's and thus spins the blower at a lower speed, although Corvette chief engineer Taj Juwakta reminded us that fitting a smaller pulley and upping the blower's speeds will invalidate the warranty. The LT5 makes 755 horsepower and 715 pounds-to-foot of torque, gains of 105 horsepower and 65 pounds-to-foot above the Z06's LT4. Do you really need more? Leading the pits for our trio of ride-along laps, Chevy development engineer Alex McDonald offered a demonstration of the LT5's power by matting the throttle. Or he just wanted to take a rip. Either way, the ZR1 shoots out of the hole with ferocity, particularly for a car lacking all-wheel drive traction. Chevrolet says this vet should reach 60 miles per hour in less than 3 seconds and lay down sub-11.0 second quarter-mile times. We'd say that sounds entirely plausible. With McDonald standing on it and guiding the ZR1 onto Willows at straightaway, our stomach dynos, mercifully not broken by the LT5, perform a gut flip that will be familiar to those who have experienced launching the hypo test of the Model S variants in ludicrous mode. The numbers to go with that sensation will come out when we are able to test the production car ourselves. Willows at steep uphill turns 3 and 4 are more or less flattened by the LT5's power, and the ZR1 drifts slightly exiting 4 and heading for turn 5. Turns 6 and 7 are gentler S's than McDonald essentially straight leans, accelerating to about 140 miles per hour before dabbing the brakes and sailing around the long, sweeping turn 8 at as much as 130 miles per hour without stepping completely off the throttle. This corner best shows off the ZR1's advantage over the Z06, downforce. Thanks to the ZTK kit's giant wing, the ZR1 simply squats on its rear tires and feels dead stable in high-speed bends. Diving under 100 miles per hour for turn 9, we're kissing 150 miles per hour by the end of the straightaway after crossing Willow's start-finish line, as you can see in the clip of our hot laps embedded below. shot using a combination of the ZR1's standard performance data recorder plus a GoPro. As if most sane people wouldn't, McDonald suggests keeping the Corvette's multi-setting performance traction management (PTM) system on, reiterating what Chevrolet engineers have told us since the 7th generation Corvette made its debut for 2014, the car is faster on track with PTM active. For our lap, the car was in PTM's fairly permissive Sport 2, which meant we experienced the occasional graceful and controlled drift. So what's next? Us driving the ZR1, of course, where we can glean more about how the production version behaves in the real world and, eventually, on a racetrack in our annual lightning lap track test. Based on this limited experience, the ZR1 is without question the front-engined Corvette's performance zenith, a fitting hurrah before the mid-engine C8 generation arrives next year. That a few dynos needed to bite the dust for it to happen seems like a fair trade. In fact, we hear that GM ponied up big bucks for even more heat-resistant dyno exhaust plumbing made from Inconel. We take that to mean more power may be on the horizon for future versions of America's sports car.